Nothing new to report in this issue other than to recap the road to the new series of Knight Rider for next week, September 24th at 8 PM, only on NBC. We get the announcement from NBC chairman Ben Silverman after watching the live-action Transformers movie that was the very inspiration for reviving Knight Rider, and saying that small screen effects have advanced enough to have a weekly series about shape-shifting cars. Then came the announcement that NBC Universal made the deal with Ford to have as the new kit, and it was the yet-to-be-released Ford Shelby 2008 GT500 KR Mustang. That was probably the biggest shock for the new pilot, and such a radical departure from what we had come to know about KITT and Knight Rider. But as it got closer to the pilot from December, from when the Mustang was first revealed, to February 17th, 2008, fans began to gradually accept the new kit as a Mustang, or as it also came to be known as the Kitstang, courtesy of yours truly. And although the pilot that is likely to be renamed as Prometheus at a later date didn't do as well as the original 26 years ago, in my opinion, it still held its own and pulled in the necessary result from the Nielsen ratings for the TV pilot movie to be greenlit for a new series. What the pilot for Second Gen also showed us was how the writers and producers had learnt from past mistakes such as Knight Rider 2000 and Team Knight Rider. Although Knight Rider 2K more or less kept it as Michael Knight and KITT, it wasn't Knight Rider per se. And Team Knight Rider? That is just a mistake that should never have happened. They say it was 5 talking cars. No. The only car out of that lot was a 1997 Ford Mustang. The other 4 were 2 motorbikes, a pickup truck, and an SUV. Some might argue that an SUV is a car. To me, something that big is not a car, in my opinion. That's my 2 cents, take it for what you will. Now, what can be said about the new kit compared to the kit we all know and love? Well, Knight 3000, voiced by Val Kilmer, in terms of the car's appearance is a lot more aggressive compared to the sleek aerodynamic look of the 1982 Pontiac Trans Am. New kit is able to morph into other cars via the use of nanotechnology as a means of hiding out in the open. However, what I feel the kit has over his successor was that his dashboard is more impressive as well as his personality, whereas the Knight Industries 3000's personality in the pilot was that of a wet dishcloth. That sounds very harsh, I do agree, but that's my 2 cents, again, take it for what you will. While I happen to think that Kilmer made a better kit voice than Will Arnett, I still think that the writers need to make the new kit develop a better personality as the series progresses. Although it has been argued that our kit started out much with a similar personality to the Knight 3K, but for me the difference is that Knight 2000 had more of a charm in his voice all throughout his lines in Night of the Phoenix. Then we get news from Mr. Bruning at a TV Q&A in June that the series will have reinvented itself after taking Gary Scott Thompson on as the executive producer for the series, and that would be a new look attack kit, which of course got unveiled at Comic-Con on July 25th, 2008. And I have to say that although I agree with some aspects of the design, I felt it was way over the top, and I very quickly dubbed it Hot Rod Kit. And I still maintain to this day that hot rod exhausts and horns are not necessary for a muscle car, especially with the Lamborghini doors. I appreciate, artistic integrity and all, but Lamborghini doors on a muscle car? I wonder if someone was drinking that night. Ugh. But, also at Comic-Con and a few weeks ago, Gary Scott Thompson gave us 2 pieces of news that delighted us. Numero uno. Kit will turbo boost. This was the very thing that was missing from the second gen pilot, because I suppose they were doing things on a budget. I mean, I don't know the whole inside scoop, but that's probably one of the factors. But Knight 3000 will in fact turbo boost just as his older brother did. Good. And the second piece of news, David Hasselhoff, the original Michael Knight, will reprise his role once again. And GST was not done there. No. He went on to say at Comic-Con, and I quote, I see no reason why there can't be two kits side by side. That was the very piece of news all us hardcore and old school Knight Rider fans were waiting to hear, knowing that the car and character we had come to love growing up and coming to know recently through DVD releases would return once more. Which will then bring us to the premiere episode, Knight in Shining Armor, of the new series next week, falling 2 days short of the 26th anniversary of the original pilot, Knight of the Phoenix. And all I can say now to the writers, producers, effects specialists, and to the new Michael Knight and Kit specifically, is this: you have set the stage. The world will be watching to see what you can do. Now impress us once again. Until issue 23, good night.